Om Shri Gurubhyo Parama Gurubhyo Srimadananda Tirtha Bhagavatpadacharyo Namo Namaha Narayana Paripurna Gunarnavaya Visvodaya Sthititolaya Niyadi Prataya Jnana Prataya Vibhuda Sura Saukya Dukkha Satkaranaya Vidadaya Namo Namaste Yo Pralimba Pritam Adiprabodhan Vadan Rasakritavan Bhuvidatvavadam Sarvesvaro Haririti Pratipatakam Tam Manandatirtha Munivayam Namami पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहैः तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विश्विदावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Welcome, friends, to our Kathopanishad journey. I think this is in fact, the last version of the Kathopanishad, as well as we were also trying to give the essence of the entire Kathopanishad briefly into this, and we will also elucidate, some important points next week. With this, we will be coming to the end of Kathopanishad, one of the biggest Upanishad. We had almost 140 talks on this, and I think it is closer to 125 hours. All these 125 hours will be condensed and find out what is the takeaway we have taken from this Upanishad. What does it mean for us? As we have seen in the last week, we have seen how we will have to find ourselves open to the open to ourselves, because instead of restricting ourselves, finding out why we are not able to do certain things, even which we are even though we feel we are capable of. We feel we do have the capacity to do that. We also have we have got the control to do whatever it is that it's not beyond my sort of jurisdiction. I can still have a control on that. I can still have it done, but somehow because I am not able to do it. Basically what happens, because let us get into the very fundamental of what we are learning, because every day, and what we have undergone in our studies, because then our final, our the higher studies, and taking up the profession, or whatever we have to do in our life, whatever has come in the way, we have taken up. And then we have also gone in the way, as life has taken, we have also seen how life has been given us, a lot of challenges in terms of our education, in terms of our profession, in terms of our relationship, in terms of our day-to-day activities, because how we are able to get through and how we are trying to manage all these things, because we have explained in brief, in every talk, as we have gone through, and not only here, in earlier Upanishad also we have discussed in detail. But what exactly, because we seem to have understood everything. We seem to have because got the wherewithal to face it. We also seem to find because we have got the necessary wisdom to face anything and accept the challenges and go about it. But still we are finding the dead end every time. Or why it is happening? Basically because as in the simplest words, whatever the education we have got, the education is a fulsome, because education cannot be confined only going to certain schools or certain colleges or certain disciplines and getting the knowledge of it. Education is for the soul. Education is not education for a living, what we are doing. Education for life is what I have forgotten. Education was a living is, because you do this, you will get an opportunity, you will get a job, and you will go for it, and then you do it. Education for life starts right from the very beginning, because right fundamentally our attitude, our approach, and our ability to accept whatever discomforts that comes. We are not always on to the comfort zone, seeking the comfort zone. All these things will come as a sort of, as we accumulate, as we enjoy, as we sort of experience and understand. That's how it comes. So what is that? Because the education has been very beautifully put up in a simple language by the Swami Vivekananda. Education is a perfection already latent in us, and once we are able to find out, discover that that is the education. The perfection, whatever is there, and the perfection, because the imperfection, has taken away, most of the things. We are not able to excel. We want to do certain things, we are not able to do excel, because the perfection has got no end to it. There is always a better method. Because The Japanese, because the word goes, there is always a better method. It is not that, you got to the final, the excellence and this is the be all and end of it. Because tomorrow something else is going to come. And tomorrow, you are going to face different challenges in terms of, your own environment, in our own, because the society, in our own economy, in our own country, in our own sort of the behavior of the nature, the calamities and trials and tribulation as it comes to, because every day, it is, you will have to find a different way to, go forward. So when you are going forward, you should not lose yourself. That is perfection. When you are moving forward, when you are losing yourself, you are getting absorbed into the whys and hows, and because following into the some of the failures or some of the things that must have unexpectedly happened, then the life comes to an end. So this entire Upanishad has brought us, to out of the entire, because our own what we call, the indolence in finding out. That is, the laziness in understanding ourselves. What is religion? Religion is to understand ourselves, and the religion enables us to understand ourselves and realize to actualize that understanding. But in that process, if you are going to be always, confined by certain dogmas that has come about, along with these things, and because then you are going to miss the bus. Basically, once you know, because religion is very important in the sense religion has got an importance in as much as, trying to find, because it enables you to understand and realize that understanding by yourself. And what is the guru's function? Guru function is Guru enables us. Guru will not, because sort of a substitute for you to make you understand. He will only enable you. Stula Sushmataka Karanantara Kelanam Paripalanam. No, he makes you understand yourself. He understands the subtleties of yourself, the subtle energy in the latent energy in yourself, the latent capacity in yourself, and the latent possibilities in you, because he tries to bring about, and finally he makes you realize yourself. And having understood, I have got this much of, because potential in me, and there is nothing that is not impossible, that is not possible and all. I can still do it. It is not that, it's only the mind that has given the restrictions, of my inability to attempt and do it. Once that is taken out, then you flourish to your full potential. Nichocha bhavam gataha. Whatever from whatever the status you are in, every day once you evolve, you are attaining a higher dimension. As the higher dimension goes about, there is no end to it. The final highest dimension is the one when you find the manifest, the perfection that is latent in you. And it is not only, because the education that is provided, because by others, the Guru has made you understand that, and he has triggered, because all the points, in you, all the sort of switches in you, that is all the chakras in you, and they are all functioning to the perfection. Then finally find, because what we have seen, there are, because the 101 pathways in our body, nadis in our body. Finally, it gets into that Ida, Pingala, and Sushmana, the final three pathways, the final one, which are there, you will be able to actualize, manifest, and get the highest attainment. What are the because fundamental, because the requirement for all these things? Yes, because this is what the Upanishad has taken us, to the highest level till the last mantra, what we said in Angushtamatra Purusho Antaratma. Sada Jaranam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. He is in every one of us, because what we have seen. And then, because once you know, because once you have understood, he is there in everyone. What is that? Because then you will have to Sachat Sharirat Pravahet. You will have to dissociate your body, because because that inside power has enabling you. You are an instrument. Once you know, you are able to understand that you are an instrument, you know the power that is operating this instrument. That is the final one. Prabhupada, Sacha Sarirat, once you have to distinguish your body and the power that is operating the body, that is, you have to distinguish the electricity and you will have to distinguish the laptop. Without electricity, laptop will not operate. But you think, because the laptop is be all and end all. Without electricity, what it is? It is nothing. So once you have understood, then laptop is laptop is required to make, because all the, you'll have to have, all the software to work. And to know, because the ultimate knowledge that comes through that, you will have to gather everything. The instrument is required to gather and add to your treasury of, because you have got, the wealth of information that is accumulated in you, treasure trove of information which you are carrying, because that is the only wealth you will be carrying, with your soul. You will not be carrying this body, because this body, because once it goes off, it is a cadaver. It is of no use at all. It will be decomposing. It has to be immediately disposed of. But that knowledge, treasure trove of knowledge, what you got, that is the one finally is going to come and condition you to realize the latent perfection in you and to manifest that protection, that manifest that perfection. How it happens? It is that happens, after several births. That is what, Durlabam Manushya Janmanam, what we have seen. துல்லபம் அரிதறிது மானிடராய் பிறத்தலரிது ஆனிடராய் பிறந்த காலையும் கூன்குருடு செவிடு பேடு நீங்க பிறத்தலரிது கூன்குருடு செவிடு பேடு நீங்கி பிறத்த காலையும் தானமும் தவமும் தான் செய்யந்தலிது. So once, because once you have got all these, instrument, the perfect instrument that has been given, why can't you manifest the perfection latent in you, with the power, which has given to you? So then your the attainment of excellence will happen. But if you know, because if you're indolent and if you don't choose the choice, I don't want to do it, and I want to see, because I am, the body is be all and end all, I want to be in this body, and I want to see, whatever this body can, because, and all the saptasparsha, ruparasa, gandha, all the, because the pleasures, what is available in the world is for the body. Once I take it, then let it be there, and all it is, the choice is yours. And finally, because once the choice is yours, you will have to responsibility. You have to take the responsibility for your choice. Once you have taken the responsibility for your choice, you will have to take, because whatever comes along with that. You cannot be complaining, you cannot be miserable. Why God, why it has done to me and all, because God has not done anything. He has given the power. The electricity has come. It is the function of the laptop to have the necessary software. You are creating the software, you are creating the operating system, you are creating the drivers. That, all those, because then you are able to be a perfect laptop, capable of, taking the power and operating, to the fullest possible extent. Otherwise, you will be a decelerated laptop, because you are acting, you have been, because you are not using your potential. So likewise, laptops are also being rated. This is the best laptop. It is able to do. It has got so much of memory. It has got the software is so good. It because it doesn't have any virus. But when we are operating, with the body as the instrument and taking be all and end all of this instrument as one and all, without knowing the power that operates, and without trying to understand the power that operates, without trying to understand and as well as realize that power in us. Then, because this is choices, you will only be, because virus infected laptop. And virus infected laptop, and because with all the software, will be corrupted. And then you will not be able to produce the result, that is possible for anyone to get. Because this is exactly has been brought about. And this has been brought about beautifully, through the entire, this Kathopanishad. In fact, because Swami Vivekananda said, because I wish the Kathopanishad is known to every children of India and every person in this country. And it is taught everywhere, irrespective of the caste, creed, and deed, because, it has got so much of a wealth of information for the human perfection. No religion wants to be a human to be imperfect. Every religion wants to bring the excellence in the human being. That is the purpose of the religion. Therefore, religion is not a pejorative term to be used, because religion doesn't squares up. It is the dogmas associated with the religion that squares you up, and it confines you and it controls you, because of which you are not able to come out of that. Give out the dogmas, because there will be dogmas, in everything, because when you go, even if you go to certain disciplines, because they will be creating the dogmas about the other discipline, because they want to impart their discipline so well. If you go to, because I know, because a physics professor used to say, why chemistry is there? And a chemistry Nobel laureate said, why physics exists as a separate discipline. Chemistry covers everything. Whereas Stephen Hawking said, with physics you can explain everything, including the Big Bang and the creation of the world, philosophy, everything and all. That's why he called the theory of everything. There is a movie called Theory of Everything, because I think, because it is the biography of Stephen Hawking. If you see, you will understand what is the theory of everything. It's like everyone thinks, because the dogmas associated, you will only be confined, because then you will have to take out the dogmas. So you take out the conditionalities. Like once you take out the conditionalities, you will be able to flourish, propel, and you will be get into interstellar space of your mind. And because as we've seen, because this Upanishad has taken through a wonderful story of an infant who has gone through the experience. That is why, having gone through that, because last mantra, we have come to the last mantra of this Kathopanishad. It is the 18th mantra of third chapter of second Adhyaya. It is the 119th mantra of the Kathopanishad. It says, Mrityu Proktam Nachiketa Atalabva. Nachiketa has been Proktam, because Nachiketa has been instructed by Lord Yama. Who is Lord Yama? Yama is the word highest, because the one who has attained the highest wisdom, the first person, who has faced death, and not only that, he has become a master of death, and he is the master of all our forefathers. Whether they call it Saint Peter's, because in the Abrahamic religion or something else, and it is like that, because the Yama is the one who has the highest evolved soul, who has got the highest possible knowledge to be imparted, who has got, because the power, to make everyone to transcend death and understand death. Death is not, something to be pejorative. Death is, something at the beginning of a new life. It is not an end. Once you understand that, because you will be looking forward, and because that wonderful experience that, most of the people are fearing about. Mrityu Proktam Nachiketa Labdva, because Yama is, so that, because what is death? Everything, because you fear, it is a death, you make you die. Every day we are dying, because some fear, some klesha, if it happens, if I go there, if the car doesn't come, if I'm not able to take up the bus today, if I'm not able to meet that person, if I'm not able to file this, what happens? All those things, they are all, because taking the fear, causes you to, it takes away your ability to deal with the thing. Birth is when you get the clarity. Once you get the clarity, you find a way out and go about it. Therefore, birth and death every day there. Why birth and death, how it comes? Because it is the thoughts. Even if the entire world, because as you go through the world every day, if a world has been a wonderful place to live and a wonderful place to, enjoy and see the mystery of the world, once you got that mindset, you will not be worried about, what is happening to you. Because you take, your self is out, you are with the nature, you are with whatever is happening around, you are not complaining. You are not, because trying to adduce a reason for this. You are not trying to find fault with someone else. You accept as it is. Once it comes, because that's how it will come. So once that comes, once you know that, because the world, when you are doing, even if this world, if whatever it offers, if you are not satisfied, even 1,000 worlds like this is offered to you, you will still not be satisfied. Even the development, whatever has come out, even 10 times more development is there, we will not be satisfied. We will be looking for something more. But this world is, this insatiable world is a limitation. But there is a vast cosmos inside each one of us that we have not understood. Paranchikani Vyatarunat. That is the what, because the third chapter of the second Adhyaya, first mantra said, Paranchikani Vyatarunat. Once you see this world, and once you are getting, dissipated, fragmented, lost, into this world, Vyatarunat, you are dissipating, you are spending, you are expanded into this world. You are not available to yourself. You are not, because taking, because you've got a big, because the version of wealth in you, you are not able to access it. Vyatharanath. Tasmat na pashyati antaratman. Paranchikani, because once you see the world, and because you are not able to see the antaratman inside, there is a version of wealth. There is, all the solutions are available inside you. All the wisdom is available inside you, but you are not able to, because you are lost in this Paranchikani Vedarnath Tasmat. But some people, They try to see, because for that Amrtatvam, who want to go into the immortality in the sense, beyond all these things. Once because there is no question of, because right or wrong, because once you go after the pleasures, the perfection doesn't come. The perfection is a continuous journey. Kaizen, because there is a concept of Kaizen in Japanese language, in all the corporates, they have adopted. The Kaizen says there is always a better method. It's not that I have done. There is always a better equipment. There is always a better product. There is always a better me. Once I know, because what I am today is not necessarily the be all and end all. I could still be better. I can, take out, because like a sculptor take out unwanted elements, into the stone. Finally, it comes into a beautiful, perfect, the sculpture, because like, the David or anything like that. And Michelangelo, brought about all those things. Leonardo da Vinci, when they brought about all those things, because they are all they take away, perfection comes after taking away so many things, because we have got to give up so many things, our conditionalities. Once we give up our likes, dislike, mada, mascharya, jealousy, all those in greed, everything you give out, and finally what you come is, you are a perfect being, you are a purified being, you are, because the ultimate purity in yourself. So that is what, because that is the everyday process. One day, you don't become a perfect. Because I have got so much of conditionalities, millions of conditionalities. I will have to give up those conditionalities. All those conditionalities clogging my mind, because not allowing me to access my perfection, excellence, and potential to achieve in this world. That is what, because I'm trying to do. The Upanishad takes you by hand. And that's why, Muttiproktam Nachiketa Labdva, because once has result he has attained. How Nachiketa we have seen. And Nachiketa, how he has attained, because he was like, because like sort of a perfect Indian child, we are not supposed to be asking question of our parents. The parents, do it, because because of course, my parent, whatever he does, is some sort of a gospel for me. He does everything, my father does everything as perfect as possible. In Nachiketa also, because he was an introvert, he was not talking at all, he was just obeying his parents. Whereas his brother, who is supposed to be Uddalaka, we will see, another Upanishad, there he is a sort of a, extrovert. He will talk, more than what he knows. He will try to expound as if knows the entire thing. So we will see under that Upanishad. And that Upanishad also gives a beautiful, because trigger, how to go about it. Here the trigger comes, he is an introvert. Introvert when he is observing what his father, because his father was, though he is a person, who knows everything, who has got everything, who has been taught, who has been coming in the lineage of the great, great lineage. Gautama, he has come in the lineage of Gautama. Gautama is, the great, the Rishi and all, he has come in that. Having come, is insincere. He wanted to give, because what Nachiketa has learned, when he was insincere, he was trying to do the things. He wanted to, because he is supposed to give, because he performed, one particular sort of, the process of which we call yajna, because he is supposed to be, get to get himself, attain the highest status, in the other world. That is what, all of us have been told, in the other world, whatever good things you do, you get the other thing in the good thing in the other world also. Otherwise, you will also go to the hell. He wanted to go to heaven. Insincere, because what he did, like us, like any common man, when you want to give something, whatever, is not useful to you, rubbish, you give it to everyone. But he also did the same thing. And then this young boy said, because my father, is supposed to be knowing all those things, he's doing insincere. So he didn't have the mind to ask, because he wanted to, he was having a very simple feeling of, because why my father is doing it, genuine feeling. So let me ask him, he just instead of asking him, right, why are you doing like this? So when you are giving all the rubbish, whom are you going to give me? God, father got vexed. What is that? What is it? Is out of his mind? And what is it? Whom are you going to give? I am going with twice. He asked. He didn't. Third time when he asked, he got irritated and Get lost. I am going to give it to the death. Get lost. But in those days, the words were powerful, and he's also so, the father is so insincere, but out of rage, he said, the child is so sincere, and he wanted to obey his father, immediately left the body. It was only the cadaver that was there, and the soul went into Yama. So Yama's abode. That's what we all, because this scriptures has told, and it has also been sort of, the fully, brought out in all our great gospels and everything and all. It is finally when he has gone, because there he will decide, what is that, type of, the heaven you will get or something like that. It will be decided. He went there as an infant when he there, because the Yama was not, the Yama was supposed to be, because he was the governor of the entire, world. Or when everyone goes and leave their body, because he has to govern all Pitris, all our forefathers, everyone, he has to decide who has to go to hell, which hell. We have got, seven types of hell, and we have got the seven types of the netherworld, and who has to go where and how long, and all those things will be decided by them. He is so busy. He was not available for 3 days. But in our tradition, because a guest who has come to the house, has to be entertained first. Why is it? Because the guest is called, guest is supposed to be in the form of Vishwanara. Vishwanara because he is the fire, the fire of the natural power. He comes, when the deities come in the ultimate, the higher power, because sends this thing, as a signal to someone to know something or some message is being sent. If Atiti, because once he has come, Vaishvanara has come, since he has not been entertained, because Yama thought, whatever good deeds he has come, if he has not entertained, because properly, and taken care of the guest, everything will be lost. So he said, sorry, because sorry, I beg your pardon, I couldn't take care of you, because 3 days, you have to be waiting here. Please ask me 3 boons, I can give it to you. The first boon, Nachiketa, as because we have repeated earlier, he said, I want to be a sort of a beloved son of my father, and I will have to get back. And there should not be any sort of ill will between us. Vita Shokam, there should not be. Because I should be able to know, and my father, and I should be able to do that. All those things. He said, granted. The second one, I want to know, because all the great, because we have got the 5 Agnis, Panchagnis, which we have to do, because it is called, because Vaishvanara Agni, in those days, because this is the process, 5 type of, because obeisance, you do, 5 oblations you do, finally to attain the highest possible heaven. He said, why don't you impart me the knowledge? That knowledge is fully available only with Yama. And when Yama said, and I want to know only from you, you are the right boss, having come to you, you're such a wise person, the number, I think, the prima donna, because among the one who has attained and managing the entire governance of the all the forefathers and all, and I will have to know from you, because you are the one fully knows about, no one else will be able to tell. So when he starts, Nachiketa absorbed everything, to the hilt. He got, because so enamored, because it was called Vaishvanaragni, and having seen the capacity of Nachiketa, he said, henceforth it will be known as Nachiketa Agni. Because you are so perfect, because much more than anyone else. I have not seen anyone to have absorbed so beautifully. Second boon also was there, and he got it. Third boon, he asked, what happens, when the soul leaves the body? What is that course it takes? Then he said, Yama said, please don't ask me. Even those great masters, even those, all those, because the devatas, who have all become, because attained the highest possible, the heaven and all, who have all been, with the ultimate power, even they are having a doubt on that. I will not be able to impart that. So to dissuade him, he said, you ask anything else in lieu of that. You ask for wine, wealth, power, anything you want. Without everything will be served, because you do not have to work for that. So once you understand that, so you don't have to work for that, because you will have to go for the this automatically will be available to you. He was not budging. He was not, I just want to know only from you. Having come to you, I want to know only from you, no one else. he tried to give him so many sort of, the inducements. Please don't ask this. But he stood his ground. This is the only knowledge. I don't want anything. I don't want the wealth, women, my power, what, nothing. I don't want anything at all. I want only this knowledge. Having seen that, because then he explains, because to get that knowledge, what are all the conditionalities? The perfection in us, we are not seeking that, we are seeking the pleasures of the body, because that is what, we understand. We are being known by the name and form of this body. Is that, the pleasures, what is available to this body is, because the pleasure will not, because pleasures will, even if you have another, because 10 worlds, because another, we have got 14 worlds, even if those type of worlds are one after the other, it will never be satisfiable. But then you have got a biggest cosmos, you have got a biggest universe inside you. That is, the mind. And the mind, because then also he says how all these senses, they are the one, because how my mind is, so high, and how beyond that mind, what is ultimately available, then he imparts. So all these, because all the organs, they are, because subtle, but subtler than that is your sort of a sensibilities, sabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha, touch, feel, taste, and because talk, hearing, and seeing, and all those things, because these sensibilities more subtler than that, and subtler than these sensibilities are the mind. The mind is the one, gathers information all through the organs and through the sensibilities. It comes, it gathers and tries to do that, because once you just got the information, it gives proper, it creates the perception and propensity to act. But then, the mind, because it can't decide what is right and what is wrong. Because the wisdom, finally, the intellect. So the intellect is more superior than the mind. It discriminates what is right, what is wrong. It enables us to act the right thing, as we have understood. We may have to understand still more, because our wisdom may be limited at the time. We will have to. Wisdom is like a horizon. Finally, wisdom is to reach the Brahman. What is Brahman? Bruhu iti Brahman. It is like a horizon. It goes on. Once you reach the horizon, it goes further. Likewise, it goes on expanding. So, intellect is the one thing. What is intellect? So, if once intellect becomes, it is that one, because it is your individual wisdom, individual knowledge. Because beyond that, there is a cosmic wisdom. That is Hiranyagarbha, what we call Prakriti, what is called, because unmanifest, Avyakta. Because you've got so many things. You've got entire Earth is there, and cosmic, so many other worlds are there. You've got other moons, Mars, so many other things are there. And, because apart from that, because there are too many sort of a different atmospheric uh, probabilities are there, and so many things are there. And, everything what you want is only the Mother Earth gives, whatever metal wants. Mandalay periodic table, how many metals, you are able to produce yourself. Most of them comes from the earth. Yet the Mother Earth gives you everything. Mother Earth gives you, to live as well as to destroy yourself, including the uranium or thorium, everything it gives. But if you want to use it for power generation, you do it. Everything Mother Earth gives, unmanifest. And unmanifest, because in scripture is called the Prakriti and Hiranyagarbha, cosmic power and the cosmic knowledge. Because it gives, because of the cosmic knowledge, the individual, we are all interconnected. Even though, we are all stages, because our individual ability differs, because our level of perfection differs. Our degree of perfection differs. That's why we are different. Otherwise, finally, because the knowledge comes from all sources same. And, because why, because there is even a degree of difference is good. Even if a person maybe had identical wisdom, the degree of difference may be there. That's what, Madhvacharya says. You just go and find any tree, even the two leaves. Whatever you do, there will be a 99.9% may be same, but there will be a 0.1% difference with Veda. So that is how, because so, but we have not understood, because it is the same power which is operating on us. So we are all reflection of that power. That power enables us. That power is the one, which is giving us, enables us to operate it. So that is, the Hiranyagarbha Prakriti. And even beyond that, beyond Hiranyagarbha, the Prakriti is Purusha. Purusha is the one, finally the Brahman, or the one who has the power to control everything, and who has given the energy. He is immanent and transcendent, and he is the one, who is be all and end all of this world. Finally, all the scriptures, irrespective of the religion, irrespective of the thing, they are all glorifying to that ultimate power, but we call that power by different names. Having understood that, and that is what, because finally the Upanishad brought out, Mrityu Proktam Nachiketa Labdva. Finally, all the Vedas, every word of Veda, every syllable of the Veda is so perfect and pure. Finally, they are all denoting the ultimate perfection, who has created this world. His perfection is unattainable. He is a Sarvaguna, he doesn't have any sort of a stay. Guna Paripurna, he is the full. And we are all, because a big reflection, because like Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, we are depending upon the capacity, we are filled accordingly. If you go to Ganges, if you take a small, because cup, you will fill only so much of water. If you take a big, because vessel, you will be filling so much of water. What type of a vessel, it is our wisdom that decides. The Ganges is there. How much water we are going to fill ourselves? It depending upon how much you have expanded yourself, how much you have given up. You have created a space so much by giving up, all your sort of unwanted qualities and all your, because the conditionalities, you have become so much a big vessel, so wisdom can fill in. Ganges can fill its water in. And if you are in a small, cringed in a cup, you will only have that much. That's what will happen. So this is exactly Dhyametam Yoga Vidina Krishnam, the knowledge of the self and also the whole process of yoga. The yoga is to find out, because the organs are not important, the senses are not important, because the senses are subtle, but the subtler is sensibilities, and the sensibilities, subtler than that is mind. The intellect is more subtler than the mind, and the cosmic knowledge or Hiranyagarbha, Prakriti is much more subtler than the intellect, and finally, because that's called, because the Abhyakta, it is called, and then finally the Purusha, the one, who is the perfection, the master perfecter, who is the one, who is, the fountain ultimate, we are all the part of, the water, and we are all going through that, but he is the ultimate, the perfection that is there. So therefore, that is going to be the final, final end of it, and because that is what Avyakta Purusham. Mahataha, that's what we have seen. So Vidyameti Yokavitam cha Krishnam, Brahma Prapto Virajaha Abhut Vimritya. Virajaha, because once you give up, purified yourself, giving up the qualities, you become a space. It can be filled in, with all the knowledge. And you have given up everything. That becomes the ultimate part of it. Once you get that, I think, because then and that is not the end of it. You can still become a bigger vessel. You can give up so many other things and all. The perfection is an endless process. Every day is towards the perfection. As Kaizen says, every day is a better method. We can always evolve ourselves better way, every day and all. So Vidyametam Yoga Vidim Chakrisnam Brahma Prapto Virojo Abhudhita Anya Api Evam Yo. Everyone who gets this knowledge, everyone who has understood this is not the body, and the pleasure is only, to take away your ability to seek the biggest cosmos, universe inside you, and seek your potential, realize your potential, understand yourself, attain the highest possible excellence. That is what, it says, you try to attain that. By giving up, you will be able to do that. The pleasures will not be perfection and pleasure. What are you choosing? The perfection or a pleasure? Perfection, as we have said, what education and living the life means. Manifesting the perfection in each one of us, based depending upon the capacity and control what we have. Till such time, you will continuously be doing. It's an endless process. It may, because we have already taken so many births. Durlabham Manushya Janmanam, we have taken so many births, and we are evolving ourselves in few more births we will be taking. And because this entire soul is immortal, it can't be killed. Even someone thinks he is killed, because he is mistaken, that's what Hantuna, Hantaha, Nahantaha, because that's what we have seen in. So this is immortal, it is always there. But this body comes and goes. But the treasure of trove of knowledge, what you have gained all through, they are going to be with you. And they will be controlling your vasanas. They will be controlling your trigunas. And those vasanas will be controlling, your life in whatever birth, whatever way we are taking it. Once you have understood that, once you have got, because this is what it is, I'm not this body, it is only an instrument. Finally, the highest power that is operating, when it is operating, because so once I understand that, once I go myself, Adhyatma, inside I am able to see the Antaratma. And once I am, because not drawn away by the pleasures of the world, I am able to sort of being an introvert, look into myself as well as try to understand and realize that understanding is the realization of the God. And religion is required, to do that. But religion along with that brings a lot of dogmas. So don't be getting bogged down into the dogmas. Go by the process of understanding and the manifest the understanding. If you are understanding, you are also like an Atiketa. That's what in Brahma Prapto Virajaha Abhut Vimrityuhu. So, because a knower of Brahman, free from, knower of Brahman is what? Understanding the highest perfection that is possible. There is a highest perfection. That perfection is the creator. No one else can have such a perfection. He is a guna paripurna. He doesn't have any sort of a stain in him. But, because otherwise everyone, depending upon their, ability, they will be having the stain. That's why we got gods, demigods, and so many others, because they are in our system. They are all different type of evolution that has been taken place. But once you have understood anya api evam ya, once we have understood that with adhyatmam evacha, but once you know the inner self, once you understand it, you are also becoming an achiket. This is what the last mantra has said. We have briefly covered, because what finally, how it has brought about and the gist of it. And just we will give, sort of a broad brush of all the 6 chapters and the 2 adhyayas of Kathopanishad and what it has brought about, take away, because each of these things, the essence of Kathopanishad in its entirety, we will be seeing next week. With this, we are concluding today's session. We have started it by 11:30 today. Anyway, because last week only, we had a problem. We started by 12 o'clock. And anyway, now we have come to that. Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Punattu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvina Vadidamastu Ma Vishvidavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, madam. Sorry, I think, there was a communication gap.
Yes, today actually you posted 12 o'clock.
No, only
So
last
that's why
week. Last week only, I had to be away. So I think, because today system now automatically started. So I couldn't do anything.
okay. But you had posted, so I said maybe today also you're out. So at 11:25 I logged in. Mera mistake thoda ho gaya. I logged in earlier. I said, okay, that time naturally. Then I said, array, I forgot. I checked again. Then it was 12 o'clock even for today. So I said, oh. And I was sitting with my laptop. Then it's okay. I'll listen to the recording. Because I wanted to listen to these last 4. I mean, right now, I suddenly thought of today what you said made sense that Purnatma and Paramatma. So we
Yes.
have Atma, Purnatma, and Paramatma. That suddenly when you said Paramatma is perfection, then I said, aye.
Correct.
Purnatma is also not perfection. Yeah.
So
Okay,
because
like only
perfection,
that.
why we differ is, we have got different level of perfection, each one of us. My perfect, so you may be more perfect than me, but someone else may be more perfect than everyone else. Because some other people, because that is always an ongoing process. Like Kaizen, there is always a better method, that is better way of doing it. And basically, education, as Vivekananda has said, the perfection already latent in you, you manifest. That is what education. And unfortunately, our education doesn't. It gives competition. So naturally, jealousy, selfishness, and even research. Because cutting one's each other. It's all. Finally, you see, our education doesn't promote all those things. So therefore, what has happened is, it's not that everyone has to be Spartan and all. You work in this world, but try to, because understand, perfection is the final goal, not other things. Because I may find, because today something has not happened to me, in the hierarchy of things or where I am working and all. But, whatever, once I know I am towards the perfection, nothing can assail you because you are towards that goal.
Yeah, but now this perfection, what you're referring to, is basically loss of the ego, no? So that
Absolutely,
getting
absolutely,
getting
absolutely.
out of that detachment
See,
mode and
giving up, giving up,
material
everything.
one. Yeah.
The more you give up, that's what, the Upanishad finally says, it is like a Ganges. And if you go to Ganges, if you take a small, the cup, you want to take the Ganges water, it will only be cup. If you take a vessel, bigger vessel, it will fill the entire vessel. What type of vessel you are going to become? That is what the Upanishad. Whether you want to be a cup, whether you want to be expanded, because expanded in the sense you will not be bothered about all other things. So I may be unwieldy, I may be big, I am able to take it, but I will not be able to take the entire Ganges. Ganges is full perfection. That is Paramatma. I am limited.
Mhm.
So I am limited by
Yeah.
conditionalities. More you give up by the conditionalities, more you are able to get the wisdom. And because the body, because anyway, all of us have to leave the body, but this treasure trove of knowledge will always be with us because you are immortal. You are there,
Hmm.
you are here, and you are going to be
Yeah.
there in several, because time immemorial. So once that is there, your knowledge, what you are getting, that is going to be a permanent treasure trove. That is your gazana, not anything
That
else.
is right. That is why the soul evolves. I never say
Yeah,
soul
correct.
doesn't go right. Once you
That's
had
why
said that
I may
statement
have
also.
10 houses. I told you, last week I said I have got 10 houses, 10 cars. What does it mean? It is all limited. But this is what nothing is going to come to you, come with you. And you are only a tenant. You will have to leave everything. So because there is a
Yeah,
Tamil song, because when the owner wants, the tenant has to be vacate. I don't have
yeah.
to.
And
It
now that Purnamada Purnamidam makes that shloka also makes better sense.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's why Madhvacharya to his guru, when he was explaining, at that time it was raining, it seems. So he took him to
Hmm.
his ashram, where they have kept various vessels. He says, you see so many vessels. Every vessel has got the water to the extent it can hold. That is what
Hmm.
Purna.
Hmm.
For that vessel, that is Purna. For a bigger vessel, that is Purna. It is not that, because you don't become a rain. Rain chooses when it has to come.
Right.
आकाशात् पतितं तोयं यथा गच्छति सागरं सर्वदेव नमस्कारः केशवं प्रति गच्छति. Whatever the water goes from the sea, goes to the cloud. When it decides, it comes down. Because so when it comes, because then in everyone, whoever is capable of holding, that much they are holding. So that is
Hmm.
exactly, because once you know that, we have got, because this is being, there is no end to it, for our growth. And to get the perfection, then you become nothing. The world doesn't mean anything to you. Whatever happens in the world, you are still living in the world, but it doesn't affect.
Hmm.
So the anything, because nothing is
Yeah.
good, nothing is bad, you just like a Padma Patra, because like a lotus, you
Lotus
just,
leaf. Yeah.
yeah, because it will, it doesn't affect you. And like the
Correct.
power
Correct.
inside you, it doesn't affect. And whatever you do, it gives it because by your laptop may be misbehaving, but the electricity doesn't get affected. He is the power. The power comes to your
Hmm.
laptop. Even my laptop is malfunctioning. It is only the laptop's fault, not the power's fault.
Hmm. Hmm.
The software is corrupted, or
Yeah.
malware has come, or driver has not been downloaded, or the equipment has gone bad, something like that. The power, it
Hmm.
gives the same power to everyone. It gives the same power to your quantum computer also, the laptop also. But everything, based on the design, they are functioning. The quantum computer, they are
Hmm.
able to qubits. They are able to process, so many million bits, and they give the complex equation, minutes, and they give, even the entire interstellar space. The journey is there. So many calculations goes, and immediately they are being put in the place in the orbit. So many things are happening. So likewise,
Yeah.
that is the capacity. See, there is no end to it, because how this instrument can be, because enshrined, continuously
Hmm.
evolving. That is what, is finally. Once we understood, There is nothing good in the bad, nothing bad in the world, nothing happy in the world, nothing miserable in the world. You are dispassionate. You are able to accept everything as it comes.
But now here, when you are saying this, there is one more thing. Like, what exactly is the, when you in English they talk about the lower self and the higher self.
Yeah.
So Purnatma is when both are working together.
Yeah, lower
Basically,
self
so
is in the lower self in the
when
sense,
you are
because
physical, all the
I can.
right.
So,
So you are totally. Is that correlated to the tamasic guna of
correct,
us?
correct, correct,
Not
correct,
right.
correct,
Correct.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
Yeah. So right now I'm just like trying to link everything.
Uh,
So how today's you're on a paid meeting or something?
where?
No. Today I thought Zoom meeting will go out. It hasn't gone yet out. 40 minutes or 45 minutes ho gaya na.
Sometimes it
So
takes.
I was like,
It
that's
is
why I was
behind.
asking you what questions. I said, okay, ye bhi puchna hai, wo bhi puchna hai. So one more question was, okay, so now, so when you're talking about the lower self, basically it's a ego-ruled person.
Yeah,
And
basically,
the higher self is the God space, huh?
yeah. With the perfection and pleasure, lower self is, more towards pleasure. Well, so many things are
Yeah,
available
so
in the world.
Shreya, Preya, you keep saying, huh?
Because why can't I, because you ask me, I should not take ice cream. Take ice cream, but don't take, because 3, 4 and all 5. And okay, the taste. And if it is good for you, take it. And if it is not, and okay, limit yourself. I will take once in a week ice cream, you do it. And, but you don't have to be after ice cream like that.
Yeah, true. That was one nice statement. One more thing you had said, possess everything, but what?
No, your possession is good, but not be
No,
possessive.
possession. Not be possessive. Yeah, possession is good, but not be possessive about anything.
That is what,
Yeah,
that
so
is the concern.
correct. Okay, today this thing recording I'll listen because I was very interested in Vivekananda ka approach
Oh,
because
yeah.
he is the one who he is the one who started off with Raj Yoga, no? So
Raja Yoga. In
then
fact, next week, when we will be telling this essence, entire essence, it will be mostly based on Vivekananda's entire, the his explanation of and Aurobindo's both together. I am taking it. Of course, I give the interpretation of the great master Shankara, Ramanuja, and Madhva. But next week will be the finale for Kathopanishad. Week after next, we will be having Mundaka Upanishad.
okay. Okay. And next week I'll come at 11:30. Today okay, I'll just check up. If I'm not wrong, today's yeah, you have said July 31st, 12 p.m. India. So I joined on 12 p.m. So it's okay. Doesn't matter. I can listen to the recording. So I was like, okay, maybe you're still out of town or something.
Sure.
I have to just come in. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.